Yeah, I know.
Hey, everybody.
Good afternoon, everyone. Please be seated. I would like to personally welcome all of you, friends and family of the Reading School District, to this momentous occasion. Thank you, elected officials, Governor Shapiro, Secretary Mumin, Representative Manny Guzman, Representative Johanny Cepeda Freitas, Senator Judy Schwenk, and Mayor Eddie Moran. I also want to thank our Reading School District School Board, Dr. Betts, Dr. Brookins, Ms. Del Rio Gonzalez, Ms. Jones, and Mr. Tinoco. Thank you all for joining us today. All of you work tirelessly to improve the education system for our students. I want to also express my sincere gratitude to Governor Shapiro and Secretary Mumin for their presence here today and continued support for the Reading School District. Today is a very exciting day, not only for the Reading School District, but for all children across the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Today, we celebrate a major accomplishment in public education and applaud Governor Shapiro and his team, who, with other elected officials, have made commitments to improve public education in Pennsylvania. In his first budget, Governor Shapiro made historic investments in our public schools, students, and teachers. He empowered parents to put their children in the best position to succeed by delivering the largest increase in K-12 funding in Pennsylvania history and delivering universal free breakfast for over 1.7 million students. With last year's increase of funding and allocated ESSER dollars, the Reading School District has done phenomenal things for our students. We facilitated more real-world experiences so students can experience learning outside the classroom walls. We call this Beyond the Classroom Walls initiative. Students took at least 3 educational field trips in 1 year, visiting such places as the Reading Public Museum, Da Vinci Center, and Weaver's Orchard, and many other places. We've increased accelerated learning opportunities occurring before and after school, as well as summer activities. We held professional development for teachers at Albright's Total Experience Learning College, which has found to rejuvenate teachers in the practice of their art of teaching and re-engage students in learning after experiencing difficult times in remote. We have increased safety and security measures in our buildings. We've renovated old buildings. This particular one was done originally built in 1935, and you can see if you drove in the back way, the new additions that were done really under Dr. Mumin's time in the Reading School District. We've increased staffing, which includes social workers, counselors, safe schools officers, and increased wages for those positions that are deemed hard to fill and have the most vacancies. These increased wages ensure the best quality candidates are paired with the most underserved students. We have offered paid internships for high school students that allow them to have hands-on experiences in a career field of their choice. This was a different kind of learning for students that does not occur in the classroom. And some of these paid internships for high schoolers were teaching assistants in our elementary and middle schools. They worked in after-school programming throughout the summer. This internship experience has opened the eyes of our oldest students and has sparked them to also become teachers themselves. Now remember, our students are 90% Latino. They are bilingual and bicultural. We now have a pool of potential teacher candidates who will help support our diverse needs and build a diverse population of teachers in Reading School District in 4 years and feed that teacher pipeline, which we so desperately need. So the 24-25 budget builds on that progress with another historic investment in basic education funding to continue to ensure that every Pennsylvania child has the freedom to chart their own course and the opportunity to succeed. For the Reading School District, this means an additional $41 million. Give it up. This increase will now allow the Reading School District to continue the phenomenal progress it has already made and hire more teachers to lower class sizes, invest and grow your own programs to increase the number of teachers who are available to actually hire more reading specialists to improve literacy at early ages. Right now, we have one reading specialist per building, but luckily our board has approved 18 new reading specialist positions that will be in our schools. Thank you. Thank you. We plan to add to the pre-K program. Currently, we only have one per building. This will allow us to open additional classrooms for early learning, expand dual enrollment and intern opportunities for Reading School District students, add additional social workers and counselors to address mental health needs, offer tutoring programs and extended year programs before and after school and over the summer months to help with academic gaps, and innovative programs to keep kids hands-on and engaged for school. And these programs will match the workforce needs and prep students for a career of their choice. We will evaluate our compensation and benefit packages to remain competitive, to improve our recruitment and retention rate. We want the best qualified staff working with our Red Knights. And we also need to make building renovations so they are up to date, create a safe, healthy, and clean environment for all students. I commend Governor Shapiro and his team, and I want to emphasize that this is a very impactful decision that will positively affect the learning environment and educational success of all students, not only in the Reading School District, but the state of Pennsylvania. Today's investment in our youth will pay dividends to not only this generation, but will also make an impact towards the city of Reading and the future Pennsylvanians to come. Thank you. Next, I would like to introduce my personal favorite, Secretary Dr. Khalid N.
Thanks, Doc. Well, good afternoon, everyone. It feels so good to be back here in Reading, here in Amanda Stout. Oh my goodness, it's just beautiful to be at the home of the Red Knights. As I reflect on my time spent here in Reading as the superintendent of schools and working alongside Dr. Murray, Wayne Garris, some of our board members, many of the staff that are here today, I can tell you that things have really changed over the years. I remember stepping out before you and saying that Reading School District was the most underfunded and under-resourced district in the Commonwealth. We simply just wanted an opportunity to have an even playing field. And today, I am so thankful that Governor Shapiro has spearheaded historic investments 2 years in a row. And I'll tell you that with these investments, our schools are poised for generations of greatness. Every day at PDE, we see firsthand the benefits that come from investing in our schools, educators, students, and communities. The support we give learners, whether that's free breakfast, mental health services, or menstrual products, The support we give educators, like student teacher stipends and enhanced professional development opportunities, and the support we give our schools through infrastructure improvements and safety supports. All of these investments that we make today will pay dividends tomorrow. So again, I thank Governor Shapiro for his steadfast leadership. And I'm talking about steadfast from day one. From day one. And I thank all of you as a team of learners, and I mean a community of learners, for the support that you provide for these young people, these young scholars, each and every day here in the Commonwealth. So again, thank you so much. And it's my pleasure to bring to the microphone Senator Schwenk, another one of those soldiers that was in this fight with us. Thank you so much.
Hi, everyone. How are you? A little warm, maybe, but we're going to get through this because we have such exciting things to talk about today. Hello to our teachers, especially to our kiddos and our parents that made it in here today. Thank you so much for being here. Our school board members, our mayor is here. There are just so many individuals here who care about our children here in the Reading School District and, in fact, in the entire Commonwealth. You know, ever since I've been in the legislature, school funding was always the big battle in every budget, that's the one. But this year it was significantly different. One, because we have that basic education funding formula, and by the way, we had a champion up in the executive office who said, we're going to make this happen, and he did it. Thank you, Governor Shapiro. And to be clear, 41 million sounds like a lot. And certainly when you look across the Commonwealth, the way that we are investing in our schools, in our educators, in our children, it's significant. But this is the thing, it's not just money, it's our future. We are investing in the future by doing this. And doesn't every child, in this Commonwealth deserve that? To make this state the place that we want it to be. We need to do that for our children. So I'm so pleased because this is a starting point. We'll continue to fight, but even still, the formula's in place. And so as a result, we can make things happen. We'll build, it's incremental. We're gonna build on this and continue to make it better. You know, certainly there was that education funding that was a big core of what we're talking about here today. But a few years ago, just up the street, I was at the middle school talking to some young ladies, and they were part of the Voice Up program. Some of you may remember the work that they do in the schools, and they were talking to me about the problems that they face in going to school, finding the feminine hygiene products that they need to be able to attend class every day. I mean, these girls were on it. They were absolutely adamant that something needed to be changed. That there were days, for example, that they wouldn't come to school because they couldn't afford those products, or that they were just uncomfortable even going to the nurse's office to try to find those products. That changed this year in this budget. And I am really excited about the fact that we are going to provide $3 million to make menstrual hygiene products free in every Pennsylvania school. It's a big deal, it really is, because 1 in every 4 students struggles to afford those products, and 4 out of 5 teens report missing class because of that. Thanks to the bold leadership of Governor Shapiro, and I'm going to add someone else here, our First Lady, yes. Lori Shapiro. Yes. She was behind this every step of the way. Yep. Please tell her I said thank you.
I definitely will.
It's a personal thank you. This is a significant achievement. that nobody ever wanted to talk about, right? It's a little awkward, but these are the things that make a difference to our kids and our families. The mental health supports, the school security efforts that we're going to be able to make as a result of this budget. The fact that we can have programs like Read Alliance and Ready, Set, Read to help our kids that are struggling with reading. All of these things, these innovations that you teachers and administrators dream up every day, and you school board support, we can have those happen. We can make them happen as a result of this budget. So if I look a little excited, I'm sorry, but I am. And I'll close by saying that this is a budget that we truly can be proud of. It will make our schools more equitable for every student, whether they're here in Reading or they're out in Turkey Foot School District. Our communities, teachers, administrators, and most importantly, our students deserve these investments. And I'm confident, I know, it will make a lasting impact because you're the people out there that's going to make that happen, and those kids are absolutely going to benefit from what we've been able to do. You know, I know it's an old saying, it's not the travel, the tourism saying that we use anymore. You've got a friend in Pennsylvania. We've got a champion in Pennsylvania, this guy.
Thank you. You're up, Manny.
It is my privilege and honor to introduce Representative Manny Guzman.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon. Such an honor and privilege to be here. Governor, welcome back to Reading.
Good to be back. Thank you.
You know, let me tell y'all something about Governor Shapiro. Governor Shapiro has been that guy that anytime we need something here in the city of Reading, he shows up and he's here. When we first started this conversation about how we're going to equitably fund our school districts, Governor Shapiro asked us, Manny, Judy Schwenk, Representative Joan Cepeda Freites, former Speaker Mark Rozzi, what do y'all need from us in order to make sure that the kids in your school district have the resources that they need? And we said, quite frankly, Governor, we need money. Let's call it what it is, right? We need money.
He said that. It's true.
And let me tell y'all something, $41 million are now coming back to the Reading School District because of that. Let me say that again, $41 million are gonna come back. That's the second highest in the entire state in the amount of resources coming back to a specific school district. Y'all, let me tell y'all the impact that that's gonna have here in the city of Reading. Now, no longer are there going to be generations of young Manny Guzmans and a young Joanna Cepeda Freites coming to schools where infrastructures are failing, where textbooks are over a decade old, where we don't have laptops and other resources that students a mile up the road have. Well, you know what? Starting today, that's all changing. Starting today, this is a new day for the Reading School District and for the city of Reading. Starting today, and you know, Governor, you got this saying, right? And I'm not going to curse, we got some kids here, the get-ish done movement, right? Get stuff done, right? Well, let me tell you something. This is an ish ton of money coming back to the school districts, and not just Reading, y'all, because let's talk real. While we're happy that the resources are coming back to the city of Reading, one of the most underfunded school districts in the Commonwealth, we know we're not alone. We know that, like Reading, there are other kids in all other 67 counties of this Commonwealth who need access and resources to these dollars. Cities like Allentown, cities like Lancaster, cities like York, cities like Hazleton, cities all up and down the 222 corridor, cities in York County, cities in Bedford County, cities in Westmoreland County. And let me also say a caveat to all that. Interesting, Governor, a lot of those counties got a lot of other representatives from the other side of the aisle, don't they? Yeah, they seen a lot of money too in a lot of those school districts as well. So let me wrap this up by saying this, ladies and gentlemen, and I want to talk specifically to the people of Reading, and of course to our mayor here. I want y'all to see the momentum that is growing right here in our backyard in the city of Reading. I want y'all to think back 5 years ago, 10 years ago, the conversations that folks had about our city, about our school districts, about our kids. And I want y'all to know that those days are over. I want y'all to know that under Governor Shapiro, we're House Democrats, and of course our compatriots in the Senate, although we got to win a couple of seats in the Senate, Judy. You know, we got to win there. We got to win. But I tell you what, I have never been more confident about our future as I am today. And it's thanks because of the leadership of Governor Shapiro and his vision, not just for Reading, but for the entire Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, that I feel so confident in saying that. So teachers, students, one day, hopefully you can replace me, y'all, and you could be up here talking about the excess dollars that are gonna come back to our school district and about the great things to come for the city of Reading. And I can't wait to be there supporting you every step of the way. Thank you, y'all, and I appreciate it, but there's still a lot more work to do. Now, without much further ado, I want to bring up somebody who's a former teacher of mine, somebody who saw the little young knucklehead Manny Guzman growing up. And I guess I'm a little better now. What you think? What you think, Brian? A lot better. A lot better? Yeah. I didn't pay him to say that, ladies and gentlemen, but listen, Brian is somebody that I've known since I was a kid here in the Reading School District, a former teacher of mine, and of course, now the current president of the Reading School Union Association. So Brian, please, come on up. Thank you.
Manny is correct. I've known Manny as an 06 grad. 06. So I started in 03. For 3 years, I had a lot of passion of inequities with Manny. So it hasn't stopped as an adult. The inequities back then, though, were his grade. But now he's working for bigger causes. So, I appreciate you. Absolutely. But good afternoon. I want to take a moment to thank Governor Shapiro for not only including me in today, but for teachers in general in this whole budget process. My name is Brian Benkert, and I serve as the president of the Reading Education Association. I'm happy to celebrate this budget because it takes a significant step towards fixing Pennsylvania's school budget funding system and putting students across the state, not only in Reading, but across the whole Commonwealth on a more even playing field. It was only a couple years ago, like Dr. Mumin mentioned, that our district was ranked 410th in per student spending on instruction. We know that we have more work to do, but this bar-raising funding is a step in the right direction to help serve our students and staff. We continue to work towards a more equitable public school funding system. We're grateful for the leadership that Governor Shapiro has shown in working with a bipartisan committee to investing in our public school students and to the educators and to support professionals who teach and serve them every single day. The amount of money the state spends on public schools is critical, but the way state laws distributes the money to those school districts is just as important. The budget makes important improvements and investments in programs to recruit and retain educators and school staff. Here in Reading, we have administration that understands the competitive compensation for teachers and enables the district to attract and retain the best of the best. And I'm here to tell you today, we surely do have the best of the best in Reading. However, facts are facts, and we're facing obstacles when it comes to replenishing our field, our pipeline. Paying student teachers a modest stipend will help to remove a significant barrier to becoming an educator and ease short staffages in years ahead. The budget not only does that, but it doubles the funding for student teacher stipends for a total of $20 million to support Pennsylvania's training to become certified public educators. For now, it's a great step, and we appreciate the bipartisan support and paying student teachers a stipend. The budget is a historic commitment to public education, and we look forward to building on years to come. You've heard from all the people behind the scenes so far. We want to introduce you to someone that's going to benefit it from the most, high school student Jose Martinez.
Good afternoon. My name is Jose Martinez. I'm an 11th grader at the Reading High School. I want to thank Governor Shapiro and our honored guests for their visit to Amanda Stout today. Today we celebrate actions taken by our leaders to fund public schools in the Reading School District. For me, this funding means more access to resources like mental health supporters, more teachers, tutoring, field trips, and dual enrollment. Also, this past school year, I participated in the Read Alliance program. This program is currently funded by the United Way and pays me to tutor first graders in developing their reading skills. I was trained for 6 hours on how to deliver a photonics-based curriculum, and now I assist the first graders in learning to read so that they are fluent when they come third grade year. This program is currently funded by United Way, and without private donation, it is not sustainable long term. With the additional funding to the Reading School District with the additional funding to the Reading School District, the district can now turn this into a permanent program, which is critical for early readers and teens like me. With the money I earned from Read Alliance, I started to save. I opened a savings account and learned about financial responsibility, and I'm currently saving for a car. With Reading School District bringing back driver's education, it gives me an opportunity to learn how to drive the car that I wish to get in the future. Also, with this additional funding, it will enhance programming at our new STEM school, which is something I am interested in attending in the coming school year. In closing, I would like to thank you all for joining us here to celebrate a historic accomplishment for Governor Shapiro. And thank you, Governor Shapiro, for helping me and many students alike. And with that, I would like to bring Governor Shapiro to the stage.
Thank you. Thanks, Jose. Thanks, everybody. Thank you. Jose, great job. And let me say to you, Dr. Murray, thanks for welcoming me back to the Reading Area School District, and specifically here at Amanda Stout. I think y'all know I love to hoop, and so being here on a court is pretty nice. And I did take note of the scoreboard up there. It is 2024. I am the 48th governor. And let me be really clear, I'm really glad I'm just in the first quarter of being your governor. I love being your governor. So thank you. I get the privilege as governor to travel all across this great Commonwealth, rural, urban, and suburban communities. And you get the chance to meet people where they are, to talk to them, to listen to them, to hear what is on their minds. And the truth is, even though the terrain looks pretty different where you travel across Pennsylvania, most folks just kind of want the same things. They want really good schools for their kids and grandkids. They want safe communities to live in. And they want economic opportunity for all Pennsylvanians. No matter what they look like, where they come from, who they love, who they pray to, they want to know that they are going to have a shot. So every single day I go to work for all of you, I'm focused on those core Pennsylvania principles and on making sure that every single child in Pennsylvania has the freedom to chart their own course and the opportunity to succeed. When I think about children charting their own course and having that chance to succeed, I think about places like Amanda Stout. I think about what happens in our classrooms all across Pennsylvania. And let's be clear, for too long, places like Amanda Stout and the Reading Area School District, they were ignored and they were left behind. You had a senator like Judy Schwank and a representative like Manny Guzman and Representative Cepeda Freitas who were going to the halls of power and yelling every single day that their community deserved more. They were fighting to make sure that people here in this area, children here in this area, were treated with the same level of respect as children in one of the other school districts across Pennsylvania. And then a court ruled. They examined our funding system for public education and literally ruled that our system was unconstitutional. And you know why they said that? Basically because, number one, the Commonwealth wasn't investing enough money in our schools. And Dr. Murray saw that in her budgets year after year after year. But number two, and this is really important, it wasn't just that we weren't investing enough money. We weren't actually sending the dollars to the districts that needed it most. Well, together with your senator and your representatives, I was hell-bent on doing something about that, on righting this wrong, on fixing this problem that we knew existed, but folks weren't able to do anything about. And so way back in February, I announced a budget that would have made historic investments in public education and changed the formula for how we drive those dollars out. And over the ensuing months, lawmakers of both parties came together. We debated, we argued. There were other priorities as well, but through all of those negotiations, we stayed true to our North Star, which is investing in young people and investing in public education. And as a result, for the first time in the history of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, we are now investing over $11 billion in public education here in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Let me break that down further. That represents a $1.1 billion increase over the year before. Now, it's hard to understand what all those numbers mean. I get it. Let me break it down even further. Of the new dollars that are going into public education, nearly 65% of every new dollar is now flowing to the districts that need it most. So not only have we dramatically increased the funding, we have a new formula that sends it out to the school districts that need it most. Let me put a finer point on that for the Reading Area School District. You heard from Dr. Murray and the senator and the representative that Reading Area School District is slated to get $41 million in new money, right? Your school board's clapping for that. They got tough jobs. They got to do the budget. But listen, of that $41 million, $25.6 million is coming to this district because we changed the formula and made sure it's going to the places that need it most, and that is going to have a massive impact for years to come. That's a huge win. And as we do this work to fund our schools, we're also making sure that those priorities that have been ignored for too long are receiving a unique set of funding. That's why we're seeing more dollars flow to special education than ever before, because all God's children deserve a great quality education. We were at Millmont, right? Is that where we were? Yes. I was here at Millmont last year, and we signed a new law bringing about universal free breakfast for all children in Pennsylvania schools. We doubled down on that, and kids are still going to eat for free when they come to school in the morning. We heard loud and clear, not just from your senator and your representatives, and not even from your teachers, who are amazing, but for students directly. They said, we need more help with mental health services. And you know what? We have now put $200 million into school districts to allow them to hire more mental health counselors and social workers to assist our young people here. And as you heard from Senator Schwank before, one of the top priorities for my wife, our First Lady, Lori Shapiro, was making sure that no young woman or girl ever has to miss school again because she got her period. Now, just like we're providing soap and paper towels, we're providing pads and tampons to every school district in Pennsylvania. Our girls deserve that. You've seen some of the important renovations that have gone on here at Amanda Stout. Well, now we have a fund with hundreds of millions of dollars in it for schools all across Pennsylvania to be able to help those schools that are crumbling be able to repair themselves. These are real things, not just the bottom line funding. not just making sure the dollars are driven out to the districts that need it most, but we're also solving problems that have lingered for too long. Here's what I want to just say in closing. You may not realize this, pay much attention to it, and that's okay. You got more important jobs to do. But I'm the only governor in the entire country with a divided legislature. Literally the only one. You're clapping for that. Some days, you know. What does that mean? We have a Senate led by Republicans, a House led by Democrats. And listen, I'm not here to talk politics with you, but I think we can all agree that we live in pretty polarized times politically. And yet here in Pennsylvania, we have shown that we can bring Democrats and Republicans together to actually solve problems and get things done for our kids. That's a big deal. And so when we put some points on the board for our kids, when we move the ball down the field, we should celebrate that. We should be proud of that as Pennsylvanians, where we could come together and solve problems, help other people. And to be clear, that's not the only problem that the representatives and the senator have helped me solve. You know, for years in Pennsylvania, our state police had to compete for funding with the same fund that funded roads and bridges. Made no sense. We decoupled that, and now we're spending more money on police and community-based services to reduce violence and on infrastructure than ever before. We solved that problem. We heard from seniors for 20 years asking for a tax cut so they could stay in their homes and reduce their costs. We brought Democrats and Republicans together and passed the largest targeted tax cut for seniors in 20 years in Pennsylvania. We heard from moms and dads with kids in childcare. As childcare costs were rising, they were falling behind. We passed the largest childcare tax cut in the history of Pennsylvania. Democrats and Republicans came together to do just that. Folks, here in Pennsylvania, we're showing that you can do common sense things. You can work in a bipartisan manner. You can think about the next generation of leaders and invest in them today and tomorrow, and that we can all come together to get stuff done. We are proud of that work, and I'm thrilled to be back here in Reading to make this important announcement. This district has been ignored for too long. No longer, Reading is at the head of the class. All right. So in order for Dr. Murray to get this money, I got to sign that bill. So I'm going to ask everyone here, I'm going to ask the mayor, the board, to join me as I sign our education code bill into law right here in Reading. There we go. We'll take some pics in a minute. Let's come on back up here and answer a few questions from the media. Come here, girls.
Stand right here.
Does that sound good? Here.
Yeah, look good. You ready? Stand up straight.
Good. I just see y'all to speak up because of the fan.
Governor, the Public Education Law Center, while praising the amount of money that will come out of a capital discount round, still says that what students need in the Commonwealth is a commitment over time to continue. What do you say to their concerns about that?
We budget year over year, and I'm coming back next year to double down on our investment and continue to make sure public education is a priority in Pennsylvania. I'm going to do everything in my power to, again, bring together bipartisan majorities to see to it that Reading and our other school districts across Pennsylvania see significant increases in public education. We understand that this is the first step in the process, but understand this is a first step people have been talking about for decades in our state capitol, and we got it done. Good. Anything else? Can I just come back to you on that if that's okay? Anybody else on this? I'll come back to you for it.
Governor, I mean, this is a school with over 90% of the students are Hispanic. In the city of Philadelphia, there are schools where more than 90% of the students are black. Are you concerned that in certain communities, schools are segregated? Kids do not see kids beyond their neighborhood.
Amanda Stout is a beautiful, wonderful, loving school that welcomes students from all different walks of life and all different backgrounds. I take very seriously my responsibility that has been quite literally passed down to me from William Penn, the first leader of what is now the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, to build a place that is warm and welcoming for all. And I am charged with that responsibility to make sure that no matter what you look like, where you come from, who you love, who you pray to, you belong here in Pennsylvania. You've got a place here in Pennsylvania. I'm going to believe in you in Pennsylvania. And as we're showing, we are going to invest in you in Pennsylvania. And that is what we're doing right here. Listen, I'm going to ask Dr. Mumin and others if they want to talk about broader education policies. I know that we need to invest in these schools, and that is exactly what we are doing here. Dr. Murray, anything you want to add, or Dr. Mumin?
Quite simply, with the example that the question that you've asked, schools are indicative of their communities. So in regards to the education and the pedagogy and instruction that's delivered, it's all about access for all kids. There is no intent to just move students around for the sake of moving them. Schools are community centers, are indicative of the communities that they serve.
Okay. We'll take one more. Back in my budget address, I made clear that I was ready for lawmakers to send me a bill to regulate skill games in Pennsylvania and generate revenue from that. And I asked lawmakers to come together to do just that. I also made clear separately that we need to do more for mass transit across Pennsylvania. Mass transit is a lifeline for individuals, for families, for businesses, and especially seniors all across Pennsylvania. And I want to see us do both. Leader Pittman, who was the chief negotiator for the Senate Republicans, made clear during our conversations that he wanted to link those two together to generate revenue from skill games and use some of that in order to address mass transit. I take him at his word. Leader Bradford is prepared to move forward with that approach. That was not able to be an issue where we could reach agreement back in June and July. And so all three of us, the two chief negotiators, Leader Bradford and Leader Pittman and myself, agreed that we would come back in the fall and try and figure out a package that could move forward that included a regulation of skill games as well as significant increases for mass transit. I also, because I want to make sure we're not letting mass transit down, flexed some dollars that we had available to us to act as a bridge to support our mass transit agencies all across Pennsylvania to get us into the fall and hopefully reach some bipartisan agreement in that space. Okay? Thanks, everybody. Appreciate it. Thanks, guys. Thank you.